Tigers.
And we would ask...
Listen up, everyone. This is what we call a tease. Tease, to annoy or vex, to make fun of playfully, to tantalize. We will tease you, the viewer, with video, simply enticing you to watch our program. The best collide in Big D? Who had the most O? Opposing streaks? Who's the victor? Who else is victorious? Is anyone victorious?
I screwed up.
We know all the answers, but you don't. You are being teased. Who's in? Who's out? Who else is out or about to be sent out? So sit back and enjoy Larry Legend. Actually, he's not in the show. I just wanted to see the footage. Remember, everybody, it's a tease. It might not be fair, but it's effective. You're still watching, aren't you? SportsCenter. Let the teasing begin next.
Perfect. Greetings. Welcome to SportsCenter. Alongside the heartthrob Steve Levy, I'm merely Dan Patrick.
Between now and the Rainbow Classic basketball game between Vanderbilt and Kansas, the latest from both the Rose and Orange Bowls, hockey's World All-Star starters are set, and we'll tell you what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the one with the sky hook, has in common with Charles Barkley. But we begin with two teams with very little in common.
Except for a former coach. I'll get my papers here in order. With road games in Minnesota and Detroit later in the week, the Bulls stopped at home tonight to spend a couple of hours with the Mavericks. This was Chicago's first date with Dallas since former Bulls assistant Jim Clemens was fired as the head coach of the Mavericks. Since Clemens' departure on December 4th, the Mavericks have won just once. First quarter action, Michael Jordan, the tough lay-in. It won't go. The Mavs' Bubba Wells, man of steel, and iron curtain for Dennis Rodman. Bubba Wells holds Rodman. Don Nelson on the floor to alert the refs. Wells chases Rodman to foul him, his second foul. Center of the court, Wells fouls Rodman, third foul. And then on the ensuing free throw, Rodman will make the free throw. Then look at Don Nelson, who just looks back. Rodman, hot. Michael Jordan misses the lay-in. Rodman there. Rodman had a tremendous game. Tied at 54 at halftime. Third quarter, Bubba is back to harass Dennis. Wells waits for Rodman to throw the ball in, then he fouls him. Fourth foul. After Wells fouled Rodman for a fifth time, Rodman and Wells fouls him again. He fouls out in 3 minutes of playing time. Very funny. Bulls pull away. Michael, dare I say, and Fuego had 41. NBA record-tying 787th double-digit scoring game for Jordan. Bulls win it in a very, very bizarre game, 111 to 105. Yes, Jordan goes for 41. But even Michael admits Dennis Rodman has been the Bulls MVP this year. 11 points, 8 assists, and 27 rebounds. He's had 56 rebounds in his last 2 games. You know, Dennis has been on his best behavior. Only 4 technicals this year. And Michael did say Dennis is the reason why we're back in first place. The Mavericks rookie Bubba Wells broke a 41-year-old record held by Dick Farley of Syracuse by fouling out in 3 minutes. Back to Michael. Another game, another milestone. Tonight he matches Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with his NBA record 787th consecutive game scoring in double figures. Jordan's streak began back on March 25th, 1986 in a game against the Knicks.
These New Jersey Nets at 15-12 haven't had many off nights this season. Of course, there was that one 3 weeks ago in Washington. The Nets suffered their worst defeat of the current campaign. The Wizards tuned them up by 21 points. So potential payback tonight at the Meadowlands. Only 4 teams in the entire NBA have fewer home losses than the Nets. Knicks, Bulls, Lakers, and Sonics, and John Calipari happy to be in those teams' company. First quarter, Wizards on offense. Juwan for Chris Webber. Wizards by 4, 9-5. And a pivotal point in the game. Second quarter, Keith Van Horn would turn it on. Nice pump fake around Terry Davis. See you later, jumper. Got it. Nets up 59-56. Third quarter, Nets are breaking. Kendall Gill to Van Horn. Nets up 65-61. But a scary moment for the entire state of New Jersey. Van Horn, the drive around Webber, rolled his ankle.
And the foul is
obviously in pain, but he continued to play. He's tough. He's a hockey player. It wouldn't be serious because he'd score 32 points. He misses the jumper there, but Jason Williams there for the hoop and the follow. Nets by 10. Fourth quarter, Kendall Gill to Williams. The drive and the bucket, and the Nets win 99-91. So the Nets in Keith Van Horn's best game avenged their worst game of the season. Van Horn 32-10. Wow, a career high. That's something. Jason Williams with 19 points and 22 boards. Nets win despite connecting on just 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. This one overall was UGLY. 57 personal fouls, 37 turnovers, and roughly 40% shooting from the floor. Nets improved to 6-5 with Van Horn in the lineup. Despite a just better-than-average record with the rookie in, the Nets offense has certainly responded. The team is scoring 8 more points per game when he's in. They've yet to be held under 90 in a game when he's played. Power forwards Derek Coleman and Corliss Williamson played powerful roles in last night's Sacramento 2-point win over Philadelphia, and both will feel the effects of it for quite a few days. Williamson with 23 points, a career-high 16 rebounds. Coleman 14-10, including all 7 of the Sixers' fourth-quarter points, and that led up to this. Now, as far as basketballs go, this was a dandy. 6:02 left in the fourth quarter. Williamson and Coleman had been in an intense battle under the boards all night, and it would escalate into this. The league's first major fisticuffs since last May, and showing that some NBA players do pay attention, no one left the bench area to join in. Quoting Williamson's teammate Olden Polynice, whew, that was a really big one. Here's the way the NBA saw it today. Rod Thorne on the job. Williams suspended without pay. 3 games, fined $15,000. D.C. got 2 games without pay and a $10,000 fine. Big Nasty getting the bigger penalty for initiating the get-together. Dan.
Now to college hoops. Bill Guthridge's record is a perfect 13-0 in his first season in North Carolina, while Horace Broadnax is an imperfect 0-6 in his first year at Bethune-Cookman. Tonight, these rookie head coaches cross paths in Daytona Beach, Florida. All told, 8 of Carolina's 13 opponents so far this season have been coached by newcomers. A homecoming for Vince Carter, back in his hometown, looking to put on a show for his mother. And he did that. Ed Cota, Carter, Tar Heels up by 10. Moments later, Cota again, Carter again. We have liftoff. And then look what happens to the rim. He bent it. Or he bent it. Cota, Mokhtar Ninjai to Carter. Tar Heels up by 32. You know, we show you dunks, but we let you listen to them as well. Full-service sports network. Cota, Carter, dunk. I'd like to see it again. This would be a low-angle TV terminology. Tar Heels, they're up a lot. Carter's homecoming not perfect, however. Johnny McClinton gives him an inadvertent elbow to the face. Carter would leave the game, and Mom cannot be pleased about that. She's not. He had a slight head abrasion. He was okay, which is easy for me to say. I didn't get hit. 18 points, 12 rebounds. You know, this turned out to be Vince Carter Day Part 2. He was actually given the key to the city, and Sunday was declared Vince Carter Day. Antoine Jameson had 22 points, 5 rebounds. The Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman fall to 0-7, missing 32 of 40 shots to open the game. 15th-ranked Seminoles paid a visit to Southwest Louisiana. Kerry Thompson looking for Randall Jackson, and it's a dunk. Florida State up by 5 at halftime. Jesse Evans not happy. Seminoles, Lamar Greer. Florida State up 7. Florida State too much down the stretch, thanks to Kerry Thompson and Randall Jackson. 59-48 Seminoles. But wait, there's more. Kerry Thompson, Terrell Baker, and he uses the glass and didn't dunk. Florida State wins it 80-71. The Raging Cajuns' 3-game winning streak is over. Whatever happened to Bo Lamar, Roy Ebron, and Larry Fogel? Terrell Baker leads all scores with 23. The Seminoles closed 1997 with a New Year's Eve battle against DePaul and former coach Pat Kennedy.
College football now, and Penn State's All-America running back Curtis Enis said a mouthful today. Suspended from the Nittany Lions Citrus Bowl appearance by head coach Joe Paterno after accepting clothes from a sports agent. The junior apologized for his mistake, and then in the very next breath said he would not be returning to Happy Valley for his senior season. He'll try the NFL on for size. So, any relation? Apparently not. Enis said that before the suit flap, Joe Pa had advised him to go pro. The CarQuest Bowl from Miami, Georgia Tech, and West Virginia were tied at 7 in the first. Joe Hamilton, the Tech quarterback, running the draw to perfection. Breaking tackles, little spin move, see you later. 30 yards for the touchdown. 14-7 Yellow Jackets. 21-14 Tech in the second. More from Hamilton. Again on the draw, cutting across the field. The big dive and in. 9-yard touchdown, 28-14 Tech at the break. Third quarter, Mountaineers would fight back. Amos Zaraway off the handoff. He'd go 19 yards. Touchdown would cut Tech's lead to 7, 28-21, and here we go. Fourth quarter, although Tech was too much. Charles Wiley around the end. He has a dive, too, inside the pylon. Made it 35-34 Yellow Jackets. George O'Leary and Tech, they win 35-30 in this one. They finish their season, the Yellow Jackets do, at 7-5. Hamilton finished with 360 yards and 3 scores. Mountaineers lose their 7th straight bowl game. They haven't won a bowl game since the '84 Blue Bonnet Bowl. And speaking of blue, don't adjust your tint there. That is blue, the Humanitarian Bowl. The bluegrass, I guess, of Boise, Idaho. Cincinnati, Utah State, you saw it on ESPN2. Chad Plummer, Cornelius Bonner, one of 2 Bonner touchdown receptions in the game. Plummer would also run for a score. He was the MVP. Play of the game from Utah State in the third. Matt Salk to Steve Smith breaks several tackles. Instead of going north-south, tries east-west, and then goes north-south, and 75 yards for the touchdown. Didn't matter, though, in the final outcome. Bearcat head coach Rick Minter leads Cincinnati to the first bowl win since the 1949 Glass Bowl. Never get tired of those shots of the coach getting dumped on. Chad Plummer wasn't just the man. He was 3 men, 62 yards passing, 53 yards rushing. He also caught his first 4 passes of the season for a team-high 64 yards. Easy to understand why he was named Humanitarian MVP. Utah State head coach John L. Smith said of Plummer, he was too much for us. Cincinnati had the ball for 42 minutes.
Michigan Wolverines have won more football games than any other school in Division I history, 755. 3 of those wins arrived courtesy of their New Year's Day opponent, Washington State. And the Wolverines don't have to be reminded that if career win number 756 comes this Thursday, the school will lay claim to its first national title since 1949. Chris Fowler is our designated gardener for the Rose Bowl. Chris?
Charles Woodson on the left, Ryan Leaf on the right, and Frankenstein on the center. These guys showing they can walk the walk as well as talk the talk. A Universal Studios outing for both the Wolverines and the Cougars. Sometimes uncomfortable for players to have to mix before doing battle, but as of Tuesday, the teams will be kept apart. It'll be all business for the teams of Mike Price and Lloyd Carr. These coaches should not have a problem with motivation. Obviously, both teams a lot to play for. Both teams are veteran teams, should be able to handle the pressure of a Rose Bowl. Mark Schwartz takes a look at these 2 coaches' very contrasting approaches.
Oh, man. That's pretty good, Mike. I don't know how you don't like Michigan? All right, I'll take that.
Mike Price and Lloyd Carr are now at the pinnacle of their profession, but they've taken completely different paths to the summit.
They don't start the game out. They don't go out and go, okay, everybody go to work. You know, they say play ball. Play the game. It's a game. Play ball. Fun.
We didn't come out here to have fun. We had our game plan faces on right from the first day. And
even when Carr attempts to be funny, you're really not sure. While he does have a comfortable way with his players, Carr is all business. Only one of his Rose Bowl practices was open to the media, and that for just 20 minutes. Mike Price has had an open door policy until Monday.
It's just really easygoing and allows people to be who they want to be, and that's who he is.
Lloyd Carr, by contrast, would not allow Charles Woodson to wear an earring for an ESPN interview last month. Woodson wound up not doing the interview. Price's players say he's not much for dress codes. In fact, he once dressed up as a duck hunter to fire up his team for a game against the Oregon Ducks.
And that's where my critics say, hey, you know, he's just a goofball. But, you know, I'm not.
When they said you were a goofball, I mean, did it make you reassess the way you related to the media?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it calmed me down a little bit. I still do the same things. I just don't let you people know about it.
These guys both need raises. Lloyd Carr, not among the highest paid coaches in the Big Ten. Mike Price, he makes a fraction of what some Pac-10 coaches make. Lee, we got to get him raises.
Yeah, he'll get one after this year. But let me tell you, Mike Price is different in a lot of ways from a lot of different coaches. The player gets in trouble, Mike always gives him a second chance. He always gives him a third chance. He never gives up on him. That's why the players like him so much, respect him so much, and play hard for him. Kirk, did you notice the way those players hugged him?
Yeah.
They really mean it. They like this guy.
Yeah, and what's ironic here is in today's day and ages of college coaches, head football coaches, there's so much delegation that goes on that a lot of times they lose the involvement emotionally with their players. Mike Price is a coach that is definitely heavily involved. He listens to what his players have to say, and I think the fact that he's the leader of the time that Washington State has jumped up to the top, I think that he's gained a lot of respect.
And he has some guys on the team who have needed those second and third chances, but Price is quick to point out they brought discipline to the lives of those players, and 26 seniors, all of them on the roster, are going to get their degrees on schedule. That's the story for now from Pasadena. Now down to Mike Adamle in Miami for an Orange Bowl report. Mike?
Thanks, Chris. Overshadowed by all the uproar over Peyton Manning's right knee is the quarterback from the other team. But Nebraska's Scott Frost is getting quite used to that. Steve Cyphers has more on this native Nebraskan who has his team on the brink of a perfect season.
Scott Frost wasn't always flawless. Vershawn Jackson remembers when Frost transferred home from Stanford to try to run the option.
I remember seeing him run the option. It's like, you know, he's getting the running backs killed, running it all the way to the sideline, you know, and he just looked uncoordinated out there.
Oh, but look at him now.
Yeah, I think Scott Frost is the key to the whole offense. If you don't go up there and try to, finesse him a little bit, he's going to run you over. He's going to embarrass you on TV.
The tougher he gets, really, because, I seen him run through some linebackers and DBs out there.
Oh, yeah, he blocks, too.
I think around here, the quarterbacks have to be tough. We run the option and then throw and even are asked to block occasionally. So we get made fun of it if we're not as tough as the rest of the guys.
They don't make fun of Frost, who's played with a ruptured bursa sac in his right elbow, and like Peyton Manning, in his knee.
I played with that the entire second half of the season last year. I think I had it drained something like 17 or 18 times.
I think the whole offense is based around him, kind of like the whole offense was based around Tommy Frazier when they won a national championship a couple years ago.
Frost's numbers this year are comparable to Frazier's in '95, in some cases better. More total yardage and more rushing touchdowns. But most important to Frost, Nebraska's undefeated.
Well, I think this year has been so special to me, and the two things I'll look back on and remember probably most fondly is playing with the teammates that I'm going to graduate with this year, and especially playing for Coach Osborne.
Interesting. The tough guy has a soft side, too. In Miami, Steve Cyphers, ESPN.
Here are the numbers Steve was talking about. Frost clearly the more productive runner and comparable numbers to Tommy Frazier in the passing department. Yet in 1995, Frazier was second in the Heisman Trophy balloting. In 1997, Frost only third team All-Big 12 quarterback. Joined now by Sean Salisbury. And Sean, you examine that Nebraska power option. Frost is clearly the man who makes it click.
He's also the most underrated quarterback in America, and two big reasons is Nebraska's focus on the run game and the great personnel that surrounds Scott Frost. He's big, he's athletic, and if he gets to the corner on the option, he can kill you. Now, Tennessee in this game is going to make Scott Frost beat them with his arm. And remember, he started out at Stanford, and Stanford only recruits passers.
For now, that's it for Miami. Chris, back to you in Pasadena.
Mike, thank you. Meanwhile, just up north on the Florida Turnpike from you in Orlando for the Citrus Bowl, the story has been a shorthanded Penn State team, and Curtis Enis made official on Monday what we expected he'd say. He will not be back at Penn State for his senior season going to the draft, and that's a shame, Lee.
Well, it's a shame about this thing. It's a sad thing that Curtis Enis is a great kid, played for a great coach at a great university, and he made a dumb mistake. Now, if Enis will do this, just think. Nobody's safe in the country now.
You know what's even more upsetting is I think he really was thinking about coming back for his senior year. A couple weeks ago down in Orlando, we all talked to him, and he was talking about next year, Penn State, maybe winning the Big Ten championship, maybe a national championship. Of course, now that is gone, but I think this is interesting now for the game. Florida, everybody's talking how Florida's going to blow Penn State out with the loss of Jurevicius and now Curtis Enis. I think this is going to pull Penn State together. I think it's going to be a very close football game, although Florida will probably win, but it's going to be tight.
Remains to be seen, but the message is don't give in to temptation and accept something from an agent, and when you do, come clean about it right away and don't mislead your coach. More later from Pasadena. We'll shift the focus on Michigan coach Lloyd Carr. Guys, possible forecast of rain on New Year's Day. It missed it last year, but not a full-blown rain since '55. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, we'll see you in a bit. Hockey news now. Stars and Red Wings would play tonight in the most important NHL game of the season to this point. with 55 points. The two were tied for first place in the Central Division and for first place overall. Figured to be a good special teams matchup. Dallas with the NHL's best power play, clicking on 9 of their last 27 chances against Detroit's PK, the third best penalty killing unit in the league. Dave Reed across the slot to Pat Verbeek. Chris Osgood to slide to make the stay there. Steve Yzerman's shot. Eddie Belfour stops that, but Brendan Shanahan with a rebound, and Belfour's got that one too. Shanny can't believe it. Third period, still tied at 1. Thomas Holmstrom on the attack. Doug Brown, Belfour, Holmstrom there for the rebound. His fourth gives Detroit a 2-1 lead, but don't blame Belfour. From the how often do you see this in the NHL? Check this out. It's the rare 3-on-0. All 5 stars are back behind the play. Somebody's getting scratched for that. 1 minute later, Jamie Langenbrunner centers to Sergei Zubov. And from the corner, sneaks it by Osgood from the awful angle. And Zubov's 6th, game tied at 2. And that would be your final score. So the two teams settle absolutely nothing, except they take a game off the schedule and a page off the calendar. It does extend both teams' season best unbeaten streaks. Detroit hasn't lost in 7, Dallas in 6. And Bob Aries' goal was his first since November 5th. Special for sure for the former Detroit Red Wing.
So to come on SportsCenter, the Blues try to right their ship without a tull. Highlights of St. Louis's game with the Capitals are just ahead. Also on tonight's menu, you can throw out the records when Missouri and Colorado State get reacquainted. We'll bring you the abridged version of their Holiday Bowl. While in Houston, things have been looking up for the Rockets lately. We'll chronicle their night against the Hornets. That's next. This is SportsCenter.
Now, Sports Illustrated gives you championship excitement you can count on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's Give Me 5, the best of all 5 Bulls NBA championships, all on one video. Plus this great Bulls commemorative basketball. This Bulls Super Pack is free and only available with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Don't miss the memories. This limited edition Bulls basketball is a 5-time winner. Both these great collectibles are free with your order of 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price. For the fastest delivery of your free gifts, use your credit card. Call now and get the ultimate Bulls Super Pack, the great Bulls video, and the commemorative Bulls basketball, both free. The Champion Bulls and Sports Illustrated. You can't beat it.
Ah, the good old days of supermarket shopping, when nothing stood between you and your next meal. Nothing. But today, there are materials that help lock out harmful contaminants and reduce spoilage, keeping us safe and the food we eat fresh. Plastics make it possible. So now, the rest is history.
Thus saith the Lord, with the raging flood.
We just want the money!
He makes an end of those who oppose him.
$3 million.
And he pursues his enemies into darkness.
On January 16th, prepare for hard rain. Hard Rain, rated R. Starts Friday, January 16th in theaters everywhere.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Paramount Pictures' Hard Rain. Starts Friday, January 16th. Rated R.
Hakeem Olajuwon's injury has forced the Rockets to explore other avenues in pursuit of victories this season, and as a result, Houston has taken its game outside to become one of the top three-point shooting teams in the league. Tonight at the Summit, the Rockets welcome one of the top three-point shooting players in the league, Charlotte's Glenn Rice, but it was Rice's teammate, David Wesley, stealing the spotlight. Matt Geiger, nice save, finds Wesley, the pull-up for 3. Good. Then on the break, Wesley stops, pops, it drops. Franchise record, 21 first-quarter points, passing Rex Chapman's 20. Second quarter, Rockets trailing by as many as 12. Brent Price dives for the loose ball from the seat of his pants. Matt Bullard for 3. Rockets down 4 at halftime. Second half, Hornets dominating. Charlotte, ball movement. Del Curry. Oh, one of the prettiest strokes in the game. Rudy T's got to be baffled. And he is. Fourth quarter, David Wesley. 21 in the first quarter, 32 for the game. Hornets win and looked dominating in doing so. Hornets hit 12 of 18 from three-point range. Rockets beat at their own game, 9 of 24 from three-point range. Del Curry comes off the bench for 23.
With goals at such a premium, especially this season in the NHL, what will the Blues do without Brett Hull, their leading goal scorer in each of the last 9 seasons? Firing off tapes to the league hasn't helped, denied in their efforts to have New Jersey's Bobby Holik suspended for injuring Hull. And now they're 0 for 2. The NHL said today at the act where Anaheim's Tomas Sandstrom slashed Hull did not warrant discipline, although it is unfortunate it resulted in injury. The broken left hand will cost Hull and the Blues 4 to 6 weeks. So the Blues without Brett tonight in Washington. Tough night for Grant Fuhr. Craig Berube to Dale Hunter. Bang, it's in the net. He beats Fuhr, his 4th goal, tied at 1. Still in the first. Caps are up 2-1. Richard Zednik beats the defenders. He beats Fuhr, his 12th. Caps up 3-1. Third period, 4-2 hockey game. Here's Pierre Turgeon skating in on Olaf Kolzing. And Ole, the goalie, extending that right pad slowly. 17 saves for Kolzing. Grant would be pulled after letting in all 4 Cap goals in the first period of the 4-2 Washington win, which was kind of an amazing period for the Caps. They had scored a total of only 8 goals in their last 21 periods. They had just 1 win in their prior 10 games for the Blues. It's welcome to life without Brett Hull. Devils and Sabres, and that meant Martin Brodeur and Dominic Hasek and Billy Guerin splitting the defense. 2-zip Devs. Just over 7 minutes to go now in the first. They're up 2-0. Watch this. Steve Thomas, 32, lower left. Thinks he scored, but play continues. Wait a second. Coho says, let's go upstairs. We do, and you can see clearly a goal. No one's in the crease. New Jersey up 3-1. Third period, Devils are up 3-1. Scott Stevens, the rare giveaway. But Dixon Ward stopped by Martin Brodeur, and Lindy Ruff's team, rough play. They lose 3-1 at home. Devils scored twice on their first 3 shots, and that would have been enough to win in Buffalo. It's Jersey's 8th win in their last 11 games. So Dominic Hasek now has 1 game left this month to try to set the all-time record for shutouts in a month with 6. Ottawa will be the opponent. Now, Hasek will face a much tougher opponent January 18th in Van. He'll represent the world as the NHL's World All-Stars take on the league stars from North America. The Dominator and the 5 other starters for the world team named today, voted in by you, the fans. Nice job. Give yourselves a hand.
Still to come on the show, Steffi Graff will not win a 5th Australian Open. At least not this year. We'll explain why. And while in San Diego, can you guess which team averaged 30 points per game and allowed 30 per game? The answer the same, Missouri.
Traffic jams can be trying. The inconvenience, unexpected breakdowns, but with an AirTouch cellular phone from Cellular Central, help is just a call away. Hi, I'm Andy Grumbacher.
And I'm George Simon. Cell phones do more than just keep you in touch on the road.
They keep you safe on it.
Visit Cellular Central at our Richland Mall store in the JCPenney wing today to take advantage of our fall free-for-all package. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Cellular Central, an AirTouch Cellular authorized agent.
For nearly 20 years now, El Raso Ford Mercury has been arranging the best in cars, trucks, and vans for our customers. Like this brand new 98 Taurus LX, a nicely equipped quality car for just $16,995, and financing rates as low as 2.9%. Yep, arranging the best in service, selection, and savings. That's what we're about at El Raso Ford Mercury. Let us arrange your next new or used car purchase at El Raso Ford Mercury, 40 Mickey Road in Shelby.
You know all those stories you hear about how good it was and how much fun we had and how young we all used to be, about how much it all mattered and how much we all cared and how no one has ever done it higher or faster or harder or better. All those stories you hear, they're all true.
Missouri met Colorado State in the Holiday Bowl.
Special teams, you can win this game for us. Come up big on special teams. Take the pride in that you've done all your lives.
The Rams would heed Sonny Lubbock's advice, trailing 17-14 third quarter. Darren Hall is gone. 85 yards, 21-17 Rams, just like that. More Rams special teams. Ricky Ross drops the ball. Ola Tuatele recovers, and the Rams are in business. And then it's the holder, Ryan Esslinger, the backup QB. Great spin, 23 yards for the score. Colorado State does it in a variety of ways. 35-24 the final. Before the game, Sonny Lubeck said, quote, "We've got 10 kids from San Diego, 7 starters, and their girlfriends are around. Their girlfriends' girlfriends. So that's frightening," end quote. I'm not sure what Sonny was saying, but I want to play for him. Rest up, Sonny. Your team won its 9th in a row to finish 11-2.
Steffi Graff is only 3 Grand Slam singles victories away from breaking the record of 24 held by Australia's Margaret Court. She won't be any closer, though, after next month's Australian Open. A 4-time winner of the event, yet to recover from knee surgery. She'll miss it. Graff, who underwent that knee surgery last May, could return for a tournament in Tokyo in early February.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, had misdemeanor criminal charges filed against him on Monday. He is accused of attacking a man during a confrontation last spring at a West Los Angeles mini mall. Abdul-Jabbar's business office, Kareem Productions, issued a statement that read in part, "We are confident that a resolution will be reached that will vindicate Kareem and settle both criminal and civil cases swiftly." Abdul-Jabbar is scheduled for arraignment on January 29th. Still to come on SportsCenter, the Avs brought a 6-game unbeaten streak into tonight's affair with the Canadiens. And then we'll return to Pasadena for a closer look at the man who replaced the man in Ann Arbor, Lloyd Carr.
The completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo. Too far. 1998 Isuzu Rodeo models start at $17,995.
I believe that if you really go out and do exactly what you want to do, you find happiness.
If you can do what you love, that's incredible.
Anybody that says that one person can't make a difference